followers and disciples. And then Narottam Das Thakur came and he got initiated by Lokanath Goswami. And he really lamented that he could not see Lord Chaitanya. Then he found out Lord Nityananda is gone. Then he found out Rupa Goswami is gone. Then he found out Jiva Goswami. No, wait, Jiva Goswami was there, I believe. And then he wanted to make initiation from Jiva Goswami. And then he said, no, go to Lokanath Goswami. So yeah, but Sanatana Goswami was gone. So it's like for him, he's an empowered devotee. Lord Chaitanya already knew he was going to come, anyways, he was always waiting. He was waiting to see Lord Chaitanya, even as a child. So for him, it was like, oh no. So for us also, I feel like we have so much connection with Narottam Das Thakur. Prabhupada was here, established the movement, and then we're trying to be like the manifest of the grand disciples. So yeah. So this bhajan, Narottam Das Thakur has. It refers to Lord Balaram in there, so I thought we'll sing this bhajan. If we could read the translation first. Alright, we could read that together. O Lord Hari, I spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human birth and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna, I have knowingly drunk the poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan has descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night, my heart burns from the fire that poisons the worldliness, and I have not taken the means to relieve it. Lord Krishna, who is the son of the king of Braj, became the son of Sachi, Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lonely and wretched. The two names and Madhai are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Rishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? So the tune is the same as the Guru Puja actually. The first line is a little different, and then we'll follow the Guru Puja tune. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gonaino Hari Hari Vifale Janama Gonaino Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Navajaya Janiya Shuniya Vishakainu Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana Gatina Janmi Loke Netha Gatina Janmi Loke Netha Srutisagara Vishanale Ibani Shihiya Jale Juraite na koi no pa Juraite na koi no pa Rajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Hailase Balaram Hoilanita Balaram Hoilanita Dina Hina Jata Chila Harina Mudarila Dina hina jata chila harina mudarila Sara sakshi jagai madha Sara sakshi jagai madha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Sutta Jutta Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vishwabhanu Sutta Jutta Karuna Karo Bara Karuna Karo Bara Narottama Dasa Koi Natali Harangapa Narottama Dasa Koi Natali Harangapa Narottama Dasa Koi Natali Harangapa Toma bina ke ate hamara Toma bina ke ate hamara It's funny to sing with the group. We were tune another bhajan. It's like a little bit of cognitive dissonance. All right. Oh my God, to learn this way. All right. So yeah, it's Lord Balaram's appearance day. Yeah, these days are so auspicious and they're so important. And yeah, these are the days where you just want to dive into Krishna consciousness as much as you can. These are like, those bonus days, those mercy days. Of course, every day is, you can be Krishna conscious, but these days, like these are the days when the floodgates open of Krishna consciousness and you can really dive into more and more Krishna consciousness. And hopefully that'll, carry you on till the next festival. Till next week, till Janmashtami. But that's also why we have, we celebrate so many appearance days, of course, but also like appearances of the Goswami, of the Acharyas and so forth. It's, it's like a regular thing that comes up and, and kind of helps us recalibrate our consciousness and just dive deeper in our spiritual life. So yeah, so Lord Balaram. So let's start with who is Lord Balaram?
Krishna.
Krishna. All right, that's pretty good. What else? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's Krishna's brother. And I was thinking how in our scriptures, in the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's so much description of who Lord Balaram is, especially when Nityananda is introduced in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a lot of description of who Lord Balaram is and how they're the same, Lord Nityananda and Lord Balaram. And I was thinking that there, sometimes it can look very technical. Like Lord Balaram is the Swamsa expansion of Krishna, the first expansion of Krishna, and that's all true. Like, yeah, he's the first expansion of Krishna, and so that's why our acharyas, they say like he's the original spiritual master, and the spiritual master is actually representing Lord Balaram. And we'll see how what Lord Balaram does is very much in line with what our spiritual masters do for us and for the whole world. And so yeah, you can look at it technically how Lord Balaram is the first expansion. It's called the Swamsa expansion, where Lord Balaram, Swamsa expansion means expansions that are full in potency or unlimited potency. So in that sense, yeah, there is no difference between Krishna and Balaram. And Prabhupada said the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is that Krishna is blackish bluish and Lord Balaram is whitish. And so that's the main difference. And actually, in other sense, and of course, Krishna is the absolute truth, the supreme personality, Godhead, but so is Balaram. Balaram is also, I think I was listening to a lecture by, I think it was Radha Marj, and he was saying, in one sense, it is not wrong to say, Lord Balaram is also Supreme Personality Godhead. But Prabhupada explains how there's you have one candle, right? You're the first candle, and then from that, you can light many other candles. So in one sense, they're all the same, but then there's always like the first one. So it's he explains it like that. So yeah, so our philosophy is one and different. So Lord Balaram is the first expansion, and they are one and same in identity, just little difference in little difference in color. So Lord Balaram appears, and his mood is of service. He's there. He's like, Prabhupada even uses the term servitor Godhead. He's the servitor Godhead. It's like, and then he appears. And then from him, there's so many expansions. The Chaturvyuha come, and then the Vishnu Tattvas, they all come from him. And then they all do the creation of even the spiritual, the material, everything's like run by them. So Lord Balaram takes care of all that, and his expansions, his portions and plenary portions take care of that. And then he also expands as Sesha. And now Sesha or Nanta, what he does is like he does personal service for Krishna. So he really arranges, he arranges all these various pastimes, fun stuff that Krishna does. And there's the technical stuff,
It's like construction. You build a house, you gotta worry about all that, and then the Matajis come to decorate. The fun part of construction renovations. But so it's kind of like that, it's like the first you got the four chaturvihas, they start arranging everything, building everything, and then there is Sesha, like, okay, he's gonna do this intimate service to Krishna and arrange all these various pastimes. So all this can be somewhat technical, but with Krishna everything is personal, and that's why Lord Balaram is his brother. It's not just like, oh, he's my first expansion. No, he's my brother. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, how many of you have brothers? Most of you, yeah, or sibling, or your sister was kind of like a brother. Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't have a brother. I just realized that. Didn't think about it before. Think about it. I'm like, oh, you're not a dad. But yeah, that mood would have so many brothers here. So it's kind of but that mood of brotherhood, it's like, your brother's always there for you. Yeah, especially actually my sister just texted me. It's Raksha Bandhan in India, and the sisters, they tie a little piece of cloth, or no, not cloth, whatever it's called, string, and expect a lot of money in return. And that's basically what my sister does. That's why she texted me. I'm just kidding. I hope she's not listening to this. But the idea is like, yeah, there's this intimate relationship with the brother, and the brother is always there for you, And it's the same thing with Krishna and Balaram. That's why that relationship is there. He's Krishna's brother, and he's always there for him. Balaram's always there for him. And Prabhupada, when he installed Krishna Balaram, he has Lord Balaram resting on Krishna, right? No, it's the other way. It's Krishna's resting on, no. Yeah. Balaram resting on Krishna. Yeah. Balaram's actually resting on Krishna. So they're like, the deities, yeah. And over there, Krishna resting on Balaram. But yeah, so Balaram resting on Krishna in the deity form, and Krishna Balaram on there. And you just see, this brotherhood. They go herd the cows together. They play games together. They have all these friends. So even in the technical aspect where Balaram's establishing everything, he's acting like this brother, this sincere brother, supporting his brother, and with so much love and affection, and also in the pastimes we see how they have such close, intimate relationship, and we'll see that in Vrindavan pastime they're just so intimate. That's one thing I was thinking about sibling relationships, that it is very intimate. Sometimes there are things that you can't tell your parents, but you're able to tell your siblings, because they're kind of like your peers, right? And so Krishna and Balaram are like that. They have their inside things, their inside jokes, or their inside moods that they know. Like the Brajavasis, for the residents of Vrindavan, they don't realize who Krishna is. But Balaram knows. Balaram knows who Krishna is and what he can do and so forth. But he still has that, that soft relationship with Krishna. And in this pastime, he's the elder brother in the Vrindavan pastime, and so he has that elder brother mood as well. And when Krishna and Balaram appeared, and Krishna he was the younger brother, so he's supposed to listen to your elder brother. But Krishna would always get away with stuff. Balaram would, give an opinion about something or say, no, don't do this. Like Balaram didn't want Subhadra to marry Arjuna. Like he wanted Subhadra to marry Duryodhana. But then Krishna arranged somehow through a whole pastime for Subhadra to marry Arjuna instead. And then there's some other thing, I can't remember now, but and then Lord Balaram was like, actually no, I missed it. So before that, Lord Ram and Lakshman came. And Lakshman was the younger brother. And then at so many points in Ramayana, Lakshman's like telling Ram, like, don't do this. Like, there are so many points, like, don't do this, and then it goes wrong, and don't do this, it goes wrong. And then, he wanted Lord Ram to attack Ayodhya, and then take Bharat off the throne. And Lord Ram was like, no. So he would never listen, to all these advice. So Lakshman then said, okay, next incarnation, I'm going to come as the elder brother, and then you will have to listen. But then Krishna always had his way, he always did it. And then after that, he was like, you know what? If I'm just going to come as an avaduta who doesn't follow any rules and regulations. So came as Lord Nityananda. And then as Lord Nityananda, he broke Lord Chaitanya's sannyas danda in 3 parts and threw it in the river, and then, then Lord Chaitanya was walking to Vrindavan. And then, he wasn't very far from Jagannath Puri. And then, so Lord Nityananda told these coward boys, he said, this one sannyasi is going to come. And then if he asks if he's in Vrindavan, say, yes, you are in Vrindavan. And that river over there is Yamuna. And so when Lord Chaitanya came, the boy said, yeah, you're in Vrindavan. And then, Lord Chaitanya was like, yeah, Vrindavan, I'm already here, And he went and he jumped into the Ganges and so forth. So yeah, like Lord Nityananda would do all these kind of tricks, And he just was like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to be this person doesn't follow rules and regulations. So yeah, we see like this, there's this really sweet relationship between Krishna and Balaram. And what does the name Balaram mean? Anyone know? What does Balaram literally mean? Let's go to Jimper. Yeah. And so Bala means strength, and Ramana is pleasure. So it means like by whom you can get the strength. Make sure by which one can attain the highest bliss of life. So yeah, he's the source of all power, spiritual power, by which one can attain the highest bliss of life. So yeah, Bala is strength and Ramana is highest bliss. So yeah, he's the source of all the spiritual power by which we can attain the highest bliss, which is Krishna. And Balaram is also known as Sankarsana, and as the original Sankarsana. There's other expansions that are Sankarsana as well. But he's the original Sankarsana. And Sankarsana, in Sanskrit, you can see it like sa akarshana, that one who attracts, one who attracts. So Lord Balaram is one who attracts everybody to Krishna. So that's his service. He serves Krishna like anything, and then his mood is like, hey, come serve Krishna, come help me. That's his mood, and you see that in Lord Nityananda's pastime. That Lord Nityananda is always out there preaching. So that is Lord Balaram's mood. And he always attracts everybody to Lord Krishna. And the form of Lord Balaram, as we said, he's ever youthful, and he's Prabhupada describes in the Krishna book that he's white as milk. And then another description is like he's like crystal, and so he's so white, like milk. And then when he walks, it's very majestic, it's very regal. I think in the Krishna book it said like a regal elephant. He walks like that, with that. And then you see Lord Balaram's walking in, and then he sits on his throne, but when he looks at the enemies, he looks at them and he growls. In the Krishna book, there's a description, he growls. So that's Lord Balaram. He's the original spiritual master. He's the original guru, and guru means heavy. Guru means heavy, so he's heavy with the enemies. And another name for Lord Balaram is Haladhar. And so, anyone know what Haladhar means? What's that? The plow, right? Is that how I pronounce it? Yeah, plow. Anyone seen a plow in 21st century? So a plow is this thing that was used to, you can look at it, tied to, bulls. A tractor, not that. That's like the perverted version of plow. So it's the original plow. You see there's these bulls there, and then the plow is connected to them. Oh yeah, there you go. And then plows the field. And so Lord Balaram would use that as a weapon. If you see those Indian TV serials, Lord Balaram, sometimes you see he has this plow, and he just walks with a plow on top. I guess like a mini plow. Okay. That one might be a walking stick. I'm not sure. Nice. It is a plow? All right. Okay. All right. I mean, he doesn't need a big plow, He can just use that. But yeah. So he has this plow as his weapon, and Haladhara, one who holds the holder of Hala, plow. And of course, he has his Gadadhara also, he's holder of Gada, the club. And Haladhar, so our charges have discussed like why is his name Haladhar? What is the purpose in that? And it's described that hala, the plow, is used to plow the land, and also so then it's used so that the land is ready to accept the seed, and then for things to grow, like corn in America. And so Lord Balaram, he has this plow, and so when we pray to Lord Balaram, then he comes. He's very ready. He's eager to plow our hearts, and he comes and he starts plowing. Especially when we start chanting Hare Krishna, when we start taking up this process of Krishna consciousness. Lord Balaram, as the original spiritual master, he starts plowing, and and he sends his various expansion, various representatives, and it's not just these spiritual master, like our spiritual master, but he could use anyone and everyone in that service to plow our heart. And so when the land is just hard and dry, has anyone seen a land that is suffering from drought? There's no water. Could you put up a picture, bro? I'm curious. You see there's all these cracks and everything, and the land's like really, really, like that. Really, really hard. And you can't really grow anything in that. You just can't grow anything in that. So the poor conditioned soul, being in the material realm for infinite lifetimes, really, after being here for so long, after going through so much, even in our little life, we have gone through so much. Life is so hard. And so what to talk of infinite lifetimes, there's so many impressions, there's so many things that have happened. We have taken birth so many times, we have died so many times, we have seen our close ones die so many times. So our heart becomes like that. It's just dry and crusty, And so when we take up Krishna consciousness, Lord Balaram, he comes and he starts plowing, gradually but surely he starts plowing. And so initially it might feel a little hard, like, oh, this is I really don't want this to happen, like I'm fine, like that. It's okay, I'll survive. But then we keep, then we keep chanting. So Balaram's like, oh, you're chanting. So he keeps plowing, keeps plowing. And the thing is, with Krishna and Balaram, actually Prabhupada says that in Nectar Instruction, once you take up Krishna consciousness, he's not going to leave you. He's going to drag you back to Godhead. And sorry if that's too intense, but that's what Prabhupada writes. Prabhupada says, Krishna will drag you back to Godhead, just because he really cares. These are, of course, there's the Supreme Personality Godhead, but these are people who really care about us, actually. And when somebody really loves and cares about somebody, they don't just give up on them. And of course, we see how super soul comes with us every lifetime and so forth. But Krishna and Balaram, they care about their little jivas, this material and gainsful. And so Balaram keeps plowing the heart, keeps plowing, and gradually then the soil starts loosening up and becomes gradually softer and softer and softer. And so anything that happens in our life, we can see that, we can try to have the vision that, yes, this is coming from Krishna, this is coming from Balaram, this is how they're plowing my heart for the soil to loosen up a bit. And it's not easy in the moment for sure to look at it that way, but that's what is happening. That is the purification process. And Lord Balaram's plowing our heart. And and especially the spiritual master, our relationship with our spiritual master is a lot of plowing. Our spiritual master, which through their kind words or harsh words, or and they plow our hearts so that the soil kind of softens up, and then finally that seed can be put and can sprout, and then we grow more and more in Krishna consciousness. And as you'll see, like as we progress in our spiritual life, the heart does get softer. We do grow some more humility and tolerance. But that's how Lord Balaram, he is the original spiritual master, and this is what he does. And that's what the representative of the original spiritual master does. He or she, they plow our heart to make it softer and softer. And so one simply has to stick to the process of Krishna consciousness, to simply chanting, prasadam, kirtan, and you just do that, and it's just like an inheritance. It'll keep coming. Balaram's going to keep sending mercy. You just have to stick to it. And that's Lord Balaram. And then in spiritual life, that's the way one gets mercy. It's not just like any textbook knowledge. It's not like just some knowledge where one can just go and learn something. One actually has to get mercy of the spiritual master. One actually has to get the mercy of the devotees. One actually has to get the blessings of the devotees and the spiritual master, and Krishna and Balaram. And the blessings of Krishna and Balaram come by serving others, by serving, especially by doing what Balaram and Lord Nityananda want us to do, what they are doing themselves. They go out and preach, they go out and serve others, they go out and, especially Lord Nityananda in his passing, go knock on people's doors and ask them to chant, and he would go out with Haridas Thakur, Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, and Lord Nityananda, initially they did approach actually Jagai Madai, and then they were chased away. And I think, and then Haridas Thakur at one point said, you're going to get me killed. The things you do, you're going to get me killed one day. What's that? Yeah, why do I listen to this crazy Avadut? Now we're both going to lose our lives. When we especially follow in their footsteps and try to reach out to somebody who's suffering in this material conditioned world, and then Lord Balaram's like, all right, I'm going to plow your heart even more, more and more and more, and that's really the secret of Krishna consciousness, where we really try to serve our spiritual master and Lord Balaram by just really trying to do something in spreading Krishna consciousness. And the more we do that, the more our sadhana gets better. And the more our sadhana gets better, the more enthused we are to share Krishna consciousness with others. They both go hand in hand, It's not one or the other. And it doesn't have to be that. You don't have to be this, some great orator or preacher or, out on the street just preaching to everybody. It could be any simple service. It could be, it could be anything. But what really is important is that intent, that Krishna, I have this humble service and I want to do this for you. I want to do this for spreading Krishna consciousness. It could be anything. This is the intent that matters actually. And, it does, sometimes we think about direct service. We want to do some direct service, and that is great. That's all great. But also it could be anything, and it really depends on our intent. And the more intentionally we do devotional service for Krishna, for spreading Krishna consciousness, the more plowing is going to happen. And the more our heart's going to get softer, and the more things are going to get easier. Because in reality, actually, the material world is simply another form of the spiritual world. It really just depends on our consciousness. It really does, actually. And then as time gets, as time goes on and our heart gets softer and softer, elevated devotees, they do not see a difference in the material world and the spiritual world. They just see like this is Krishna's energy, and just how do I engage everything in Krishna's service and so forth. So Lord Balaram, there's a lot of strength actually. I was reflecting on. There's a lot of strength in praying to one's spiritual master as well, or praying to. For those of you who haven't taken initiation, pray to Srila Prabhupada as the prominent Siksha Guru in ISKCON. But there's a lot of strength in that actually, and it goes back to that point that we do not advance in spiritual life just by knowledge or just by or skills for that matter. If you play Danga really well, and you're going to make a lot of advancement. It's not like that. It's not, there are fields out there where you have particular set of skills. You are able to do coding, or you have really dexterous hands. You're a great surgeon. And that's not enough for Krishna consciousness. Of course, we can have all kinds of skills. But as a matter of fact, actually, we might have no skills. At one time, Bhaktisiddhanta, when I believe it was when he was leaving his body, And there's different devotees who would sing kirtans, or maybe not, maybe it was not when he was living, but in general, like he would have different devotees sing kirtans and bhajans. And then he kept insisting for this one devotee to sing bhajan. But the other devotees are like, can he not sing? Because because he would sing like a little child, he would sing bhajans like a little child, like how little kids sing poems and kind of sometimes out of rhythm and so forth. So he would sing like that. But Bhaktisiddhanta saw that no, he's very sincere. So he saw that, So yeah, so one might not have some skills, but that's not the whole point. The point is that we actually serve our spiritual master, we serve other devotees, we serve the deities, and then we get a lot of we receive mercy. We can't just grab knowledge, we actually receive realization. There's jnana, knowledge, and then there's vijnana, which is realization. So we receive realization actually. And so that is the process of Krishna consciousness, and that is how Lord Balaram actually functions and gives a lot of mercy through through the devotees and through the spiritual master. And in the Bhagavatam, you can see like how you can really see anybody as your guru. You can learn something from everybody, and you can actually learn something from everybody. It's not this concept of spiritual master is not so limited actually. It really depends on our consciousness. How and where do we want to learn? If we think we know everything, I don't need to know, who are you to tell me this? Or who are you to tell me, and so forth, then it's like, then we're not gonna get that mercy. And when we have that mood that, yes, I'm ready to receive, I think what Vaisheshik Guru says, well, he has a phrase, right? I live to be corrected, right? It's kind of intense, but I always thought it was kind of intense. But that's the point, that I'm ready to receive. My cup is empty, and the cup is full with all other stuff. Then it's hard to fill it up. But when we are ready to receive, then Krishna's going to fill it up. He's just not going to leave anything empty. So we have that mood that I can learn something from everybody. From some people, we might learn how not to behave. There's always something to learn from somebody, and so in that sense we can see how Lord Balaram is everywhere actually. He's everywhere, trying to teach us so many things and trying to plow our little heart and make it softer and softer. And this year when I was in Vrindavan, it's Vrindavan, of course, Krishna is also the holy Dham, but when I went to Vrindavan, it's just so sweet there because Krishna consciousness is very prevalent. It's so easy to chant around. It's so easy to get up in the morning, go to Mangalore, everything, like it's so easy to chant way more than 16 rounds. It just happens because everyone's just chanting all the time. It's like a spiritual world. So our service in America is to bring that mood of Krishna consciousness, to establish that Vrindavan here at Krishna House or Krishna houses, where else in America, North America. That is our service, our mandate given to us by our acharyas, that we cultivate that mood of Krishna consciousness in our heart, and then we try to cultivate that in the place we live by serving devotees, by serving each other, and by serving Krishna. But there is as I said, mentioned before, there's a lot of strength in praying to the spiritual master with that mood that I am a fool. I have no clue, and I'm suffering like anything. And you can be anywhere, you don't have to. It's not that the spiritual master is always necessarily right there. But you can be anywhere in the world, and you can pray like that to the spiritual master. And then through the mercy of Lord Balaram, there will be some relief. Sooner or later, there will be some relief. And it could be any, yesterday we were mentioning how sometimes we think that we should only pray to Krishna for spiritual things, but actually our existence, we're so puny. We have to depend on Krishna for everything. So if you're in any kind of distress, be it spiritual or material, just go to Krishna. Don't hesitate. Just bow down and be like, Krishna, I have no clue. I do not know what to do. I surrender unto you, like, help me. Just help me. And so it's and Lord Balaram always, Krishna and Balaram, they always come to the rescue. But Lord Balaram in Vrindavan, he killed at least 2 demons in Vrindavan. He killed few demons over time. Anyone remember the demons he killed in Vrindavan? Yes. Palambasura. What? Who else? Lenakasura. So Palambasura, there was this one demon who came and he noticed that actually one of the cowherd boys was missing that day. I believe he wasn't feeling well. So he didn't show up for all the fun and games and herding the cows. So Palambasura was like, okay, I'm going to disguise as this cowherd boy. And then so he shows up, and Krishna, of course, he knows that, okay, this is a demon, it's disguised. It's amazing, when you try to play tricks on somebody who's like way more superior to you, and they're like, okay, all right, come on. And so Krishna's like, all right, yeah, come. And he's like, okay, we're gonna play a game. We're gonna play hide and seek. And so he divided. There were two groups. In one group was Krishna, and one group was Balaram. And the demon was with Krishna. Palambasura was in Krishna's group. So they hid. They did the hide and seek game, and then Krishna's team lost. And so Krishna, and so the wager, the bet was that that the losing team has to lift up the members of the other team on their shoulders and then just take them somewhere. I don't remember where, but the specific spot they were going to. So they lost. So Krishna had to carry Sabala, and then Palambasura he picked up Lord Balaram. And then, then the other Gopas also had to carry other Gopas from the winning team. And so, Palambasura, he picks up Balaram and he's taking him away. And he's thinking, I gotta kill his elder brother first. I kill him first and then I'll kill Krishna. And then, Balaram's like having fun with it, carrying, Palambasura carrying Balaram to this other spot. But then he just goes really off route. And then Balaram's like, where is he going? And Balaram starts getting angry, and he starts getting heavier and heavier, like a mountain. It gets as heavy as a Sumeri mountain, which is much bigger than Mount Everest. And to give a perspective, and he starts getting heavy, and Palambasura like, oh, what's happening? And then he ends up taking his original form as this huge demon. And there's a whole description how he's like, huge and looks like a dark cloud, and there's like copper hair. Well, maybe not copper hair. I thought it was copper hair. And it's one of those demons from the Bhagavatam. And then he's this. Balaram is getting so heavy, and Acharyas explained that Lord Balaram is getting angry particularly because this demon is taking him away from his friends, and he's like, no, like, I'm supposed to be with them and play. Like, what are you doing? And then he just starts getting heavy. And then he just knocks Palamba on the head. Palamba just goes down flat. And with Palambasura, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that there are certain things that is various demons. Actually, you can look it up. It's really nice to meditate on that, what these different demons actually represent. With Palambasura, I believe Palambasura represents the cheating. No, not the cheating propensity. The demon that's in the heart, the inclination to enjoy the opposite sex, and the inclination to enjoy profit, adoration, and distinction. That's the main thing. How this propensity to enjoy profit, adoration, and distinction. And the cheating part is where Palamba is pretending to be this Gopa. And so as conditioned souls in this world, we might have little duplicitous nature, and we're a little cheating propensity. And with the motive that I want to get some profit, adoration, distinction. So the spiritual master and Balaram plow on that little by little. That people try so hard in this world for profit, fame, and adoration. They try so hard. People go through great lengths to woo the opposite sex, and to get profit, fame, and adoration. And when Lord Balaram, when Lord Balaram starts plowing the devotee's heart, and then things don't work out, then the devotee is like, oh, what do I do now? Then you just go to Krishna. Balaram like, all right, I surrender. I do not desire any profit, fame, or adoration no more. Yeah, it's actually meant for you. It's actually meant for Krishna and Balaram. So yeah, that's what Pralamba actually represents, that desire for this profit and fame and adoration. And then the other demon was Dhenukasura. And Dhenukasura is this donkey. Yeah, his donkey with his little other donkey buddies. And so there's this I guess it's a garden, forest, Talavan. It's a tall one. It has these huge trees and it has these tall fruits. And Dhenukasura is protecting, this forest for himself, his buddies, and for Kamsa. And so nobody goes there because Dhenukasura kills them. So even though these fruits are so delicious, so at one point the cowherd boys, they go to Krishna and Balaram and they say, oh, these fruits, we heard so much of it, we can smell it from so far, these fruits, the tall fruits, really, Krishna and Balaram, please get us some of these tall fruits. And the acharyas explained that, the Gopas, the cowherd boys, they know how happy Krishna and Balaram get when they see the cowherd boys happy. And that's why they're doing this. It's like a catch-22, but in a good way. Kind of like that. That, they know, because it's not really for them. They know, Krishna and Balaram will enjoy this, and also they'll be so happy when they see us being so happy. So, and then, of course, they do. They do get so happy when they see their devotees happy. So, yeah, the Gopas, the cowherd boys, they insist, please, So, Krishna and Balaram, they walk into the forest, the Talwan, and they start shaking these trees. You see those big tall trees? They start shaking them, all the fruits start coming down, and then all the Gopas are enjoying the fruits. And then Dhenukasura, oh, what's going on? He feels a disturbance in the forest. And then he's like, oh, someone's here. And so he shows up. And then he comes and he hits Lord Balaram on the chest with his hind legs. I think he hits him a few times, And Lord Balaram just stands there. he hits him too high. Imagine like a donkey or a horse hitting you with the hind legs, not fun. And but he just stands there, and then Balaram's like, all right, and then he grabs Dhenukasura with his hind legs and he swings him, keeps swinging, and he throws him off. Yeah. He throws him off all the way up, I believe, up to the tall tree actually. Yeah. On the top of the tall tree. Oh, it is already, okay, so that's not there, guys. So, yeah. You see those donkeys on top? Yeah, there you go. So he just, he swings and throws in there. And then, of course, he just leaves life when Lord Balaram's like, swinging him around. And then all these other donkey buddies show up, and they attack Krishna and Balaram, and then Krishna and Balaram swing them. Even when Krishna, they're boys, they have fun. I just swing it, kill them, and boys will be boys. and so Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about how we have this mentality that these sweet fruits are just for me. I am supposed to enjoy this and nobody else. It's my cake, Prabhu. Or it's my whatever, gulab jamun or whatever else it is. I want to enjoy it. It's mine. It's me, mine. That's what Dhenukasura represents, that materialistic, Prabhupada calls it the materialistic intelligence, actually. That now this is for me to enjoy, and nobody better show up, and nobody better ask me for anything from my, it's not just prasadam, but I guess maybe that's my talk. Nobody better take anything from my plate of prasadam. Nobody better take my cheesecake.
It's my party.
It's my party and yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so that's the Dhenukasura mood, that no, this is for us to enjoy. And so, Balaram's showing, no. It's for Krishna and Balaram to enjoy, and his devotees to enjoy. And so, that mentality can be so entrenched in our minds and hearts that this is just for me to enjoy. Prabhupada Priya was asking about the person in the Bhagavatam, the king in the Bhagavatam, who kept giving his food away, Maharaj Rantidev. And these demigods came actually to test him. I think it's Lord Brahma and Shiva, maybe even Vishnu, I can't remember. But yeah, they came to test him, and they would come in different forms. They would come as a brahmana. They would come as and then they came. Somebody came as a dog eater, Chandala, and Rantidev, he was fasting for a whole year. 1 whole year he was fasting with his family. I believe even the family couldn't eat anything. And so Rantidev, he kept giving. There was food. The first person came, he had take. Second person, I take. And then he had some water. And then when the Chandala came, he even gave him that. And then they all revealed how their demigods had blessed him and so forth. But that mood. This one devotee friend of mine, and he's like one of my associate gurus, and he was telling me how, one time. So he was a PhD student, and we were all undergrads here, so we all would be kind of dependent on him for so many things, including food sometimes. And so one time he cooked, his dinner, sat to eat. He hears a knock. As he's about to eat, he hears a knock on the door. Who is that? There's one devotee from the Krishnas. He used to live next door. This one devotee showed up. He's like, Prabhuji, make prasadam. And he's like, I just made it up for one person. But then he thought of Rantidev. They gave him half the prasadam. And another knock. No, I was kidding. Now he only got one knock, But that mood of like, this is just for me to enjoy. It could be in any sphere of life, actually, not just food, of course. But it could be anything, It's my home, it's my car, it's my this, that, everything. But the mentalities we should have is like, this is for Krishna service. And how do we engage in Krishna service? And also as preachers, as representatives of Lord Balaram, we go out there. We try to engage people in Krishna service. It's everything, be it Krishna launch or book distribution or whatever, or Harinam, just having them chant. It's like we're trying to, people think like their senses are just for me to enjoy, but actually, you engage them in chanting Krishna's names, and reading Krishna's prasadam, engage their wallets and giving donation. And so we just see everything as that. Now we're just simply engaging the conditioned soul in service to Krishna, so that they can revive their original consciousness that this is what I'm meant to do. And so that's the demon Dhenukasura. All right, I'm going to stop here. And are there any other pastimes or thoughts or comments, Jesper?
Sorry. I just thought there's a nice detail that I always like about the Dhenukasura pastime. It's the cowherd boys that told Krishna and Balaram that they want the fruit from the forest, but they didn't actually want it for themselves. They just knew that if they said, hey, we want to go get this fruit for you two, that Krishna and Balaram would refuse. So they had to kind of trick them. If they said, hey, we want to get you this fruit, they would say, no, you don't have to do anything for me. So they were acting selfishly just so that Krishna and Balaram would actually go there with them. So that they can get the fruit for them.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was thinking, that's the devotee mentality. Like Dhenukasura is like, this is for me, and they're like, we want this for Krishna, but we're gonna say it's for us, because they know like when they say that, then Krishna and Balaram will actually satisfy it. Yes, like the opposite moods of the devotees and somebody who's not into Krishna consciousness.
And then I just also wanted to mention, you spoke about the metaphorical and symbolic importance of Balaram's plow. There's also a more literal thing that's communicated, and a reason why Krishna and Balaram chose to come and as cowherd men, as farmers basically. Yes, they're kings later in their pastimes, but they're also telling us that cow protection and agriculture and respect for the earth and all that kind of stuff is very, very important and actually vital to our Krishna consciousness. We always talk about sharing Vrindavan with others. Vrindavan is a farm community, so that's always something we should strive for. It's hard. It's not all of us might want to go and live on a farm, but we should at least understand the importance and how it helps with our spiritual lives, and it's part of the preaching mission to establish peaceful, tranquil environments where people can just come and live a simple life.
Nice. Anything else? Anthony?
To expand on that point, I really like that Balaram carries the plow, and the plow yokes a strong animal. And to yoke is yoga.
Yeah.
And you need the strength to plow the field so it's fertile to plant the seed. You plant the seed to share the crops. And you don't share the crops with just yourself. You share them with other people. So it seems like there's like a disciplic succession even in the story. And it all ties together. It's all yoked together through this simple deed of farming. I find that very beautiful.
Hare Krishna. I had two kind of visualizations that came to mind about the plowing of the heart specifically. One is that sometimes I start to think my heart is soft. My heart is so soft and but I was just visualizing that Balaram has plowed the surface maybe. I've allowed him that far. And so now I think that it's soft, but if I try to plant a seed below the surface, it's still hard. So I should always stay humble and always see that there's more to soften. And then along with that is I thought of this before about the cleaning of the heart analogy. And yesterday I noticed when I was pressure washing also is that the more I get into it and the more I complete, if I'm cleaning my room, at first I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to start, it's too much. But once I get into it, it starts to be fun and I start to relish it. So same with the plowing of the heart. At first it's really painful and uncomfortable and I don't know if I can continue this anymore. But after some time you're already so invested that you just want every little pebble that you find or every hard part that you find. You can't wait to just crumble it and soften. And you look for those opportunities to soften. So
I think Prabhupada said that one simply has to give up their suffering to be Krishna conscious. Is actually just the process of giving up our sufferings and miseries in this world, the process of Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Any other thoughts, pastimes?
So I appreciated your point about the plow also, and I was reflecting about all the painful experiences we have in our life is, as Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavatam, it's Krishna or Balaram's special mercy, which is uprooting our mentality of wanting to enjoy this world. And so I really liked the way you were saying it, that we can see everybody as a representative of our Guru, a representative of Balaram. Anyone who's especially challenging in our life, then we can try to see, all right, I have some wrong mentality and Krishna, Balaram has arranged this person to be in my life to help me reform my mentality. There's the expression, don't blame the agent of your karma.
Yeah.
So this kind of mentality, you can be positive anywhere you go, and you can be eager to receive instruction, like you were saying, anywhere you go. So that's the message I'm taking with me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So everything's an opportunity. Something happens, somebody yells an opportunity. To see this as Balaram. Yeah, you can look at it that way. It's hard in the moment.
I think that Balaram uprooted a false sense of safety in the world with his hurricane. Just
Yeah.
you're just doing your thing, going day by day, and all of a sudden, giant hurricane is coming right towards you. It seemed so sudden too, 2 or 3 days ago. All of a sudden, okay, start to prepare. And your house could be totally torn out of the ground. And a freaking tornado could come. It's just it's cool too, because me and Gayatri are here because of that, kind of taking shelter of Balaram and fully engaging today in Krishna consciousness, which is really cool.
You pray for another hurricane in Please, Krishna.
I'd be down.
Thank you. Opportunity. But yeah. All right. Anything else before we end? Yeah, I had one last thing. Just that about that point about how Krishna and Balaram are so intimate, especially in Vrindavan. Whenever there were these demons like Kaliya, he attacked Krishna and he actually bit him on the chest, and Krishna was wrapped around his coils. Yeah, and all the Brajavasis, there were some Brajavasis there. They saw and they were just so shocked. And Nanda Maharaj and other cowherd men back home, they saw omens in the sky and land and so forth, and in the body, and bad omens. And they were just like, oh no, like, something bad is happening to Krishna. And Nanda Maharaj thought it was Balaram's birthday that day, so he thought because Balaram did not go out today to herd the cows, that's why this is happening. It's unauspicious. And so they all started running to the Yamuna when Kaliya was holding Krishna. And they were just all going to go in the waters, and the poisonous water, and Balaram held them back actually. He held Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men back. And and he had this little smile, Balaram had this little smile. Like he knows who Krishna is and he can take care of this. And whereas the Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda and others, they were just seeing the object of their love in the coils of this huge serpent about to be killed. And I was just reflecting yesterday, like, oh my, that's pretty intense. Like, just to think that the main object of your love to be killed in front of your eyes, oh my God. Or non-pastimes can be intense. But Lord Balaram, he knows Christians, and so, held everybody back. And so in that one pastime, and then there was the other one where the cowherd boys got kidnapped by Brahma, and for like a whole year, Krishna expanded into these cowherd boys and the calves, and so that happened also on Balaram's birthday, and so Balaram wasn't there. So about a year later, it wasn't Balaram's birthday this time, so he was there with Krishna and the cowherd boys this time, and so they saw that So Krishna and Balaram were herding the little cows right now, the calves. And so the cows were up on top on Govardhan with the cowherd men. And so their kids were herding the little calves. So the cows saw the little calves, which were expansions of Krishna, and started running down, like just galloping, like their legs were like that. It's described how the legs were when they jump, when they're running really fast, the legs meet in the middle. And so they were like just galloping, these cows, all these hundreds of thousands of cows coming down from the hill to lick their little cows. And the cowherd men were like, oh my God, like, what's happening? Because for them it's like, we are supposed to show these little boys how to, herd the cows, and we have no control on these cows, So they're running down the hill as well, like, stop, or whatever else they say for the cows to stop. And then the cows get there licking the calves, and then the cowherd men get there, they see their boys herding the cows, and then they start hugging their boys, because they're also expansions of Krishna. They start hugging them, they like start smelling their hair. And Balaram's like, wait a minute. Like, what's okay? It's like, okay, this is Krishna. He understood. Nobody understood except Balaram actually. It's all expansions of Krishna. But yeah, Balaram has that insight and that relationship. He has that intimate relationship. Yes.
The way I've heard it is that for the whole year, Balaram is also under the spell of Yoga Maya, basically.
And then just to, as the pastime is coming to an end, Krishna is like lightly lifting, so that Balaram only can have that realization.
Yeah, Balaram. Yeah. It's insight into this. All right. Balaram Purnima ki.